Hello, everyone. I'm just going to wait a minute or two because I know there's always a lag in when I start streaming. I'm just going to make sure my volume's up all the way because I'm not talking very loud today. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Holly, better known as Swiss Army Knife Spice, Sax. She is homing me for a temporary bit. So I want to say thank you. And it's a wonderful place for me to live in. Even my favorite painting is in this room, and it's just magical. Anyways, what was I going to get to first? Firstly, I want to thank everybody for going over to my Rumble. It's Raven Moonstone channel on Rumble. I've recently been a little bit sabotaged there because the videos that I've posted have had all my numbers scrubbed off of them. And the Calgary Newfie Family had, last time I checked, about 6,500 views on it. So it was getting about 1,000 views a day, 1,500 views a day. So I find that very peculiar. So I'm going to try at some point, hopefully today, to upload it to the Telegram. My Telegram is at Raven Moonstone Art. Put all of that in the Telegram search and it'll bring you to my channel. So some of you have messaged me, am I on the right channel? On Telegram, I just send you the link. So just click on the at Raven Moonstone Art. So that happens a lot. It's no biggie. So I just don't have time to chit chat because I'm doing this serious investigation right now into, as many of you who have followed me for many years have known, it's all about the children and preventing any more children from being harmed, bringing children home, etc. So this story of this family here in our city, I just want to call out, I believe your name is Anna from the Calgary Freedom Rallies. Please don't shame people while they're suffering is all I'm asking. If you can't say something nice about somebody, then don't say anything at all, because I believe that's part of the problem that's going on in the freedom community. So one of the reasons that I stopped speaking at freedom rallies here in Calgary is because I thought the narrative went political. It was very controlled. It stopped at the big medicine talk that was going on for the 2 years, and nobody could see the correlation between how what we were screaming about in the very beginning of 2020 about Save the Children on the streets of here in Calgary on 17th Avenue. There was very few of us at first. We got name called, shamed, you name it. But that was one of my frustrations when I went to Ottawa, to be honest with you, is that nobody was talking about what was actually going on in Ottawa physically and how relevant that is to this whole freedom thing. So I'm going to speak very openly and very honestly about my feelings in the last year with what I believe is happening. So the reason I'm saying this is we went from having 10,000 people, numbers of people that knew what a sham this last couple of years were, okay? So if you know that, build on it. So the medicine actually contains parts of HUMAN live cells. So how is that not relevant? And some of the stories that I've heard in the last 2 weeks from meeting this family, I physically want to be sick. because I have to go now back into my own life and go, wow, similar things have happened, but not on that graphic of a scale, where there's forms of, I guess, intimidation and stuff going on. So this is a very real, serious situation, a very real, tangible thing that's happening for the last 3 years and a week on Monday. This family has had their children kidnapped. End of story. That's the word I'm going to use, kidnapped. So because they made a report of RAPE, I can't say it, of their 6-year-old son by a principal in the Catholic school system. So if you can't get any help and there is no investigation into that for you from any avenue, then, and realizing that they're probably in the same group of people together that we've all experienced that have certain symbols and things all over. So my opinion is about this situation, I'm just going to hold up. I've been spending a lot of time with this family, actually. We spent tons of time yesterday together, and I got a list of all the names. So for people who are thinking that this isn't real and this family has not done their due diligence, these people literally have suitcases full of evidence to support their claim of this, okay? Number one, every avenue they've turned, and people have called this BS, and people go, if that was my kid, that principal would have been DEAD. When you have a GUN held to your head by certain people in authoritative corporations that have GUNs, and you don't have one, then you think twice about what you're doing for your children in that moment. So vengeance necessarily isn't the answer, right? So I just want to point out some of those things. So everybody's right now is talking about the truckers who went to jail, the truckers who went to this. My opinion is, why are they still just talking about the medicine and what happened in the last 2 years? Why aren't they actually stepping up and helping support this family in any way, shape, or form? I'm just asking personally. So there's more than just this narrative that's been going around and whatever else. And people are using political people, thinking political people are going to get this family out of the situation. That is not true. When it starts from Trudeau all the way down, like, it's literally, I'm not exaggerating, you guys, 1 degree of separation from this family. And this, it's not even, they're in that system. So there's a lot of high-level people that have been trying to intimidate and suppress information. So here in Calgary, we have these transit boards that read, like, spew stuff, garbage out, but I see truth in a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh, whatever. The other day, and it was posted to my Telegram, I see this thing in blue writing, Catholic school board trustee censured for by school board or something. So I'm thinking, why? So she apparently, and my friend Andrea, I want to say thank you again, Taco Spice. She has if you want to follow a great channel, it's eyes to the number 2, eyes to see, ears to hear. So on Telegram, she posts a lot on my page exposing Red Deer and all of the symbology there. So basically, what the information I'm going to be diving into. I will be doing a formal chart video on this family, and I'm asking everyone here on this channel, if you want to support this family, this isn't about money or anything, but they have been stopped at every avenue, literally. Like, can't get a hold of any sort of government support because they've been red flagged, okay? So on the Rumble video, at the very end, I give the website or her email address. So her first name's Christine, and then it's Wall 17, I believe, at hotmail.com. You can send in Canada direct funds to her that way. This family is doing everything lawful, legal, whatever means they can. So I've gotten lists here of every person involved, and I'll be doing my own investigation. Again, if you haven't seen the amazing Polly investigation into this, please go watch it. It's been shared on my channel. And also Christopher James is going to be talking about this family. So the documentation and certifying, sending out some of this lawful document, which Christine is doing all by herself, I might add. She's amazing. These people are amazing. Like, it's sad that I had to meet these people, but I am so grateful that I met these people. They are just truly the salt of the earth. Like, I almost want to cry. Like, I've been going through my own personal stuff in the last 2 or 3 weeks, actually month, and it's like trying to get everything sorted and, get balance again so I can do my own stuff. I'm just trying to support a few people. And Chris offered to help move some stuff yesterday, and I'm like, this guy doesn't have his family, and they're fighting for his family, and here he's offering to help me move. That is what kind of people. So I get very frustrated when people aren't sitting on the street corner yelling or trying to send letters to people, of making people aware, phoning. If you have kids in the Catholic school board right now, I implore you to phone that Catholic school board and say, what's up with the principal from St. Stephen's who got a promotion after he raped a 6-year-old? I want to know, why are my kids safe? Like, this is the things that we need. These are the things that we need to start doing at a call to action. Everyone, I don't care if you're from another province, call the Catholic school board. Call the Calgary Police Service. Ask District 6 Division 6 why they haven't investigated. There's a lot of things that need to be answered for this family. If they have the documentation proving that they're a loving family and they care about their family and nobody's listening to them, then they should be able to have access to their children, the information, everything that's happened to them. They don't even know who signed on the form that took them away. So what the hell is going on, people? If you don't think this can't happen to you, you're mistaken. Like, I really implore you and beg you to share that video around with everybody and do something. Don't just sit there. This is like the most important time I think we could be called to action to work together. Like, honestly, if it isn't for this family, then who is it for? It must be self-serving, right? But I believe we are all one, and we're energy bubbles that are coming back here to fight this dark and end it once and for all. And I do believe this family is the story that's going to break it wide open. Sometimes that just, I think it has to happen. I believe these 3 children are heroes. They're crystalline children that are so pure of energy. Like, can't we do something? I know I'm going to do my best to help do anything in any way, anything, whether it's manifesting reunification and justice. Reunification and justice is so important for this family. It's Lee, their last name. So I know that a lot of you have been keeping me in your prayers. I can feel it, and I'm so grateful. And I'm truly grateful for every single person that has stuck with this channel, especially through the last 3 years. I'm truly humbled by people who I've met in Canada, who have stepped up and helped me financially, like even go across Canada. There's a lot of Robin and Holly. Honestly, I don't know what I would have done without those two lovely people in my life this last year. And Andrea stepping up and helping do all these investigations, and Candace. There's so many people. I'm so humbled by everybody working together to share this information. So, and that includes you. So I'm asking you and begging with you to please help me help this family. So I know it will affect us on a greater level. I just want to show you these cute kids and Christine. It's kind of a blurry picture, but anyways, here they are. So that's that's Tristan, that's Owen, and that's Tegan. And I got to know all of their little personalities yesterday. Even more. I just feel so blessed. I feel like I know these kids, and I feel like an auntie to them already. And I've got a little secret. Owen and I have the same birthday. I'm going to read some cards because it was really funny this morning. I was making my coffee and I was trying to be really quiet. And I'm stirring. And Holly's working away beside me. She's such a hard worker. And I'm trying to be quiet and not. And then ding! And I'm like, shit. I went to put the spoon down, and then I realized that I didn't and stir it enough. So I put it in there a little bit more, and then it went bang, like really loud on the side of the cup. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be quiet. But I feel like I was trying to clear energy of something. I don't know what. It was kind of funny. And I am grateful because I've seen a coyote. I don't know how you pronounce them. I don't know. I've seen 2 deer in the backyard and a lot of wildlife. So it's quite magical here. I feel very special. So yes, thank you, everybody. I'm humbled, but I'm also grateful because I know we can all work together. The power of us is amazing. Look at how much energy we've created in calm vibes in the last 3 years. You say I calm you down, you guys calm me down, right? Sometimes I feel like I'm missing out chatting to my friends and Murray's saying in Southern Ontario today, some schools are closed, dispute over money between government and school employees. It's all starting. Andrea was mentioning today that along the highway, the QE2, the number 2 is right. It's like poo here in Alberta. It goes from Calgary to Edmonton or whatever, vice versa. And it's our main highway, but it goes through Red Deer. And but along most of the gas stations, those creepy truck stops, there's a lot that have been closed down right now. So interesting. There's a lot of military helicopters where I've been staying, doing these grid patterns. They're pure black. I don't know, maybe they're keeping tabs. I mean, really. So a lot of interesting things going on. I'm going to address a few other things at the end after I do this reading, but another one just popped out. So it's a cold, snowy day here. It's about -10, I think, in Calgary, but it's really sunny and really beautiful. And there's big plops of snow everywhere. And we had gorgeous weather literally until Halloween. And then it was, I'm snowing today. And man, I'm telling you, I still even managed to walk a lot in the last 3 or 4 days. Find that's easy way for me to ground if I'm not outside walking and thinking about nothing in particular and just seeing animals and stuff. I have to do that or I get like totally kooky. So good morning, everybody. So the first card that came out is the Fire Fairy, which is, I'm going to have to put my glasses on today. Creative action and optimism. And that's what I'm feeling. Creative action. Look at that. What did I even say in this? A call to action. There are no coincidences. Okay. Disruption. Ooh, I just got big goosebumps. That call to action is going to cause a lot of disruption, you guys. Oh, look at these goosebumps. Can you see them? I'm just going to hold them up. Look at that. Never shown you my truth bumps before. Do it with gentleness and diplomacy. I just said I saw the deer. And the gift, the beauty on the outside. So I think that is excellent manifestation. It's I do feel like there is going to be some sort of disruption today. And I'm going to talk about Mr. Musk in his devil costume on Halloween and the fact that he wrote "at hell." Okay. So I think it's kind of funny he's playing the devil over at Twitter and getting rid of the most evil censors that have been there and dressing up. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know. We are in HELL as far as I'm concerned and going to heaven on earth. So to me, it's kind of like just part of the movie. So if none of you really realized what was happening with his burnt hair, that is the most disgusting smell on the planet. I know I used to brand cattle on the farm and it's gross when you smell it over and over again. It actually physically made me ill. And so think about that just in the terms of what comes in the similar bottle that they were selling, okay? That is part and parcel to the children, back to the children. So people don't think that Calgary is part of this crime hub, but our whole city here is built on a bed of tunnels that go like from the airport all the way down south to the army barracks, like all the way everywhere. So you can actually walk through the city and feel really creeped out in certain areas. And there's evidence of that. Like if anybody's ever been in our city, they'll see a whole bunch of creepy statues around. Like, firstly, the Calgary Board of Education. Okay, Calgary Board of Education, where the Catholic Public School Board, I believe, resides in, like whatever, they're two brothers of another mother. They have statues down on, I think it's 4th or 5th Avenue, kind of down from the tower, the Calgary Tower, that are nothing more than naked children. Like they're big, tall, 25-foot metal statues or steel statues. I don't know what they are, but they've been there for years, like 30, 40 years. Like, because I know my mom lived kind of around there and I had to walk past these stupid things like for years and I would bitch at her. I'm like, that's just messed up. How can that be for a school board? Like, I don't get how naked children are relevant to school boards. Like, please explain to me. This is like in 88, 89. Like what the? I mean, in 98. Yeah, in 98, they were there. So, do you feel bad for twisting the truth about the truckers? I did not twist any truth. I'll tell you about this, Diane, because, like, honestly, this is all relevant. Whether you believe it or not, the whole part of truckers movement and Romana was all from the same operations. So it's just birds of a feather telling different bits of information. When I was in Ottawa, first of all, We went across Canada in the shortest amount of time and actually made it to Ottawa at exactly 1:00 when she said she was gonna be there. That was the most effed up thing I ever experienced in my life. I don't care who you are, you weren't there, you didn't experience it. It was like time traveling. It was so effed up. That was probably the most big effed up part of my trip. When we got to Ottawa and the big group moved into Light That Flag on Fire, the truckers were like, "Bam, bam, bam," so effing loud on February 3rd. Every day after we got there, instantly that day, the noise went down like by 30%, I felt, from what it was just blasting. Within that week, it was like she was used as a part of the showboat, if you will, to give information about the corruption because nobody was talking about human trafficking in Ottawa. Not one single person. Not one, except for her. So I'm sorry, I'll stick by somebody who's saying your government's corrupt, your flag represents every drop of blood spilt by every Canadian, either through war or human trafficking, Highway of Tears, the Picton Farm, which I'll say some truckers have been known to take children across Canada. I know this from personal experience. Okay? Personal experience. So don't tell me I'm wrong. So if we only stop at talking about COVID and we're not talking about the other things, then who else is supposed to crack that nut? So she went on one day, and I literally felt like I was so confused at where I was. I felt like I was in a movie within a movie within a movie. I went out looking for Fox Reporter. You know what I encountered? I believe is a robot. No doubt about it. Nobody talked about, which is now just coming out in the news, how there was military dressed up as Ontario police officers because there was FBI infiltrators in Ottawa. I kept saying there's military everywhere. She told you all to go home. A lot of them went home. Who was paying some of those truckers to be there? You guys that weren't in Ottawa, I'm sorry, did not see. I was literally a human tripod. So a lot of people knew about Romana there. They were talking about her. They either were for her, good, I'm glad she lit the flag on fire. Or, as I felt, there was a veteran with a big beard and long hair, nothing more than a movie actor. He was in the Sheraton at the same time, okay, as I was. I saw these people coming and going. I was in the elevator with Tamara. Okay, I know who these people are. People are like, why didn't you be there when Tamara was arrested? Because it was a production. I wasn't invited. That's the bottom line. People thought I was there to completely support. No, I was paid by we the people to observe. That's what I did. And her message was go home. Guess what? Then Trudeau throws out the Emergency Act after she called martial law or whatever. So it's all about cracking people's timelines and illusions of what they thought was going on in Ottawa. I didn't think I was there for nefarious purposes. I was there to see what was going on. I loved a lot of the people I spoke to. So if you think I was against the truckers, you're completely mistaken. I was disheartened because they were still talking about the same shit that they were talking about 2 years ago at the Freedom Rally in Calgary, telling me not to talk about human trafficking because nobody can handle that information. So many of us that want to talk about saving the children have been silenced on stage in the last 3 years. How is this information supposed to get out? May I ask you, if we're not supposed to be with someone who thinks or is promoting the discovery or cracking open of certain information. So whether people bought into whatever and called her a fraud, I don't care. Low vibes, name calling and making people feel guilty is the lowest vibration. We all came together because I physically and realistically believe my spiritual DNA was ready to go conquer whatever was going on in Ottawa. I saw big blue gates go around the Parliament. I felt explosions while I was laying in my bed in the Sheraton. They'd set out firecrackers that weren't firecrackers. They were like, I walked under the Parliament and I literally felt so sick to my stomach, I almost vomited. I had to go a different way. I couldn't even go near there. So I appreciate the comments of concerns, but this was a much bigger operation than even I understood at the time. Okay? Everybody needed some sort of awakening just to piss people off. And boy, lighting that flag on fire, oh my God. Whether people believe that instigated something, it's a symbol of despair to me. It is a symbol of despair. It's no more than a McDonald's corporation flag. I believe my son entered the army to fight for the people and this land, not an effing flag. That's the bottom line. So whatever the operation was afterwards, it to me was irrelevant. I was there only to bear witness from West Coast to East Coast. And yes, it was like excruciating. It was a hard physical journey. Like, yeah, I have lupus. Like that went, I left there on good terms. You know, I still have all the footage on this actual laptop I'm recording off. I don't feel bad about one single thing I did or said, and nobody can ever make me feel guilty for being there. So I think we need to wake up to why people are here, to awaken truths within us. Because those truckers needed different information. They needed a little bit of timeline rumbling. So whether or not it was set out from whatever the highest levels or people thought it was whatever, there has to be a level of deception, distraction to change the programming that we were programmed to even critically think a certain way. And I hope that makes sense to you. Like, I can't even believe that I was part of this. So people have told me, oh, I had a cult mentality. Well, I think everybody's in some sort of way that we all think together. What is that? You know, like I don't believe in that word. I just don't. I think that's a shameful word. I don't believe in the word guru either and all these other things that labels people put on them because they're divisive. We're spiritual beings here to shine light on situations. And that's all I feel like we should be doing. Anything where we're throwing shade on somebody else, you're letting them win. You're feeding the loosh, period, end of story. You're causing more division. So whether you think the motives or intentions or how that story got played out, yeah, the ending's not for everybody. Truthfully, physically, it wasn't for me. I didn't like a lot of the personal things that came up that I had to encounter. And I then saw them as, well, who else would be in this situation? I have been left in another country on Christmas Eve by my friend and had to get the people who own the Airbnb to buy my plane ticket, and I had to pay them the next day so I could get home. So that's challenge one. I live in an RV in the winter, challenge two. I've driven about 1 million kilometers all over North America, challenge three. So I was manifesting going across Canada to report the truth. And that's all that I felt like I was doing. And when I met her, it felt like I was meeting somebody that I had met in other lifetime challenges before. There was a spiritual thing that happened. And I was reading cards the whole time I was gone. And the Queen and Truth came out 2 nights in a row around that whole confrontation with that guy Chris and whatever else. That it was completely accurate. So I can't deny a lot of things. Plus, I'll share a little secret. The very first time I handed these cards over to Romana, I wrote down 2 cards on a piece of paper that just popped into my head. And the first card I wrote down actually flew out on the floor of the deck onto the RV while we were going across Canada. No lie. I'm not a bad person. If I'm a bad person, why are you watching this? Just saying. Like, I'm here as the most humble version of myself, trying to get help for people, however that is. You comfort in, this family help, other people being fundraised for. Don't forget about all the money that got fundraised in the year on her page. Please don't forget about all that work. Like, nobody has talked about that. All of those donations that Tanya arranged for hay, 200,000. Thank you, Tanya. Like, honestly, thank you. Like, honestly, we have to acknowledge all of the people who donated money. I know Robin personally donated a lot of money to hear the truth, to get the truth out. So if we weren't doing it with the best intention, then what were we doing it for? That's all. So, yeah, and I know we don't need cards to get answers. I just like using them because I think they're kind of fun. They're just a fun way of expressing myself anyways. And I never called anybody but my higher self, when I'm doing it. And that's all you should be doing. So I think we all have our part. And it's not like I'm a hero or anybody else. I think we all just need to rise up, because how is it? I'm going to just really ask you all this question. How is it that I personally have been questioned by the RCMP for 2.5, 3 hours? They threw out CSIS and the FBI, I'll be a hold of you, and all these threats about people contacting me when they left, which was not recorded, ironically, because I was under some criminal investigation. I don't even know if I still am. I have no idea. I don't really give a shit, to be honest, because I know I've done nothing wrong. So anyways, so how is it that I've been be able to yell like Murray Edwards, the owner of the Calgary Flames, is a human trafficker on the streets of Calgary, and not had any repercussions, or people, like, there's obviously protection by these divine spirits, so we can tell our stories. So please don't be scared. Don't sit in fear. We are powerful, powerful beings right now. And I think the more people that wake up to this reality, that this is all part of the corruption that goes around the whole entire planet, there's two things that we're fighting against right now. PEDOs, I think you spell it PEDEO in UK, those creepers, and then money laundering. So if the money's evaporating in the background, which I am seeing really strongly, these people are scrambling. If they don't have any money to give to the people who are taking the children, then that part kind of gets dried up really fast. So we need to be calling to action a couple of different avenues. First, each of these individual places, these corporations that aren't doing any investigations. Like, why are these corporations allowed and continue to be allowed to go along with each other? Why are they allowed to speak on behalf of these children? Why were they allowed to kidnap at gunpoint? And that was never said in the paper. Why are all these things like not why isn't even one of these reports? Okay, this is what I wanted to read to you guys, because there was a news article and I wrote it down yesterday. I've got all this documentation here going on. But the Canadian Center for Child Protection, C3P, Canadian Center for Child Protection, C3P, okay, did a study between 2017 and 2021. 500 plus students sexually victimized by school personnel. A follow-up report to 2018, the follow-up to 2018 report, the most comprehensive study ever done in Canada. I'll repeat this, the most comprehensive study ever done in Canada on sexual abuse committed by school personnel. So they had to wait until 2018 to do this comprehensive, most comprehensive. 252 current or former school personnel working in Canadian kindergarten through grade 12 schools committed or were accused of committing offenses of a sexual nature against a student between 2017 and 2022. Okay. Over the same period of time, 38 personnel were criminally charged for sexual abuse material-related offenses, raising the total to 290 offenders. Okay. 71% were female victims and 29% were male victims. 74% of these 290 offenders were coaches, which were facilitated victimization by Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. So this C3P place, I'm like looking at this other study from 1997 to 217. So that's, what is that, 20 years, 10, yeah, 20-year study. 750 cases of sexual offenses against a minimum of 1,272 children, carried out by an alleged 714 employees or former employees. Let me read that again. They only found in 20 years 1,272 children. How is that possible? So if we divided that number up, I don't even know. Let me do some math here. Just bear with me while I get my handy-dandy little calculator out. So 20 years divided by 1272. That's not right. Do it the other way. 1272 divided by 20 years. So that's 63 kids a year, 63.6. That doesn't make any sense when they did a report between 2017 and 2021 and 500 plus students were victimized. So thank you to Andrea. Andrea is eyes to see, ears to hear. And she phoned this organization and tried to tell her story about her daughter being trafficked, or groomed or whatever, They didn't care. Oh, she's feeling better now. Yeah, we don't need to know about anything more. And then so she mentioned this family to them. And literally, it was disgusting, to say the least. So I question even some of these organizations giving the numbers. I want to go back to a couple videos ago where I mentioned the teacher in Didsbury. That was Arlene Dickinson of Dragon's Den, her ex-husband. For 30 years, he was a grade 1 teacher or something like that. And he was charged with sexual misconduct in 2015. He was allowed to teach until this year. That's 7 years, knowing there's exploitation of a minor against this grade 1 teacher here in Alberta. and nothing was done about it. And then when there was guilty charges found, he was found by his post office box, shot himself in the head. How convenient that you go outside of your property to shoot yourself so they can't investigate the crime on your property. There's no accidents here, people. Like, these are very powerful people trying to suppress information here in our own city. And if you think it's not linked Canada-wide, wow, it's not. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. So there is a lot of crime being perpetrated by these corrupt corporations known as the Courts Bench here. I won't even say they're fake titles to begin with. I think they're all BS. And I've screamed on the front steps. They've tried to invite me in the building. I'm like, nope, I'm not going in there. I know how far those tunnels go underneath those things. No, thank you. So I think this is the time that we need to actually really, really participate in some deep, heavy manifestation of reunification by going and calling out some of these people. They can't hide. They can't hide from us any longer. They cannot hide. So if I'm allowed to be questioned by the RCMP about the 17th letter theories, conspiracy theories, literally, they asked me that question. So what do you know about conspiracy theories? I was like, I almost burst out laughing. I'm not going to lie. Who else is out there that's been questioned by the RCMP about their knowledge? Just asking for a friend. So I'm just like, I feel like if I can be powerful as a single woman to say whatever the heck I want, to stand up for the rights and freedoms of all human beings, especially children in the last 3 years, you guys should feel empowered and inspired to do the same thing on even just a little level by sharing that story with your family. Like, by just even mentioning it. Hey, did you even know this was going on? Like, we all need to awaken. And I think people who don't want to talk about it, why? What's wrong with talking about this? If you don't want to talk about it, I think it's you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. So we need to surround this family in love, reunification. There's other missing children out there too. We need all families reunited. And the only way we're going to do it is by maybe focusing on one family and trying to just get the word out to as many people as possible, however that looks. So again, if you want to go support the family financially, because they literally have been cut off, their whole family has been cut off from any sort of financial aid here. They can't go anywhere because they're marked as being against the family, or the kids are in foster care or something, whatever. So we all need to stand up right now. Canadians, Albertans, I don't care where you're from. We all can do something for this family. So I am going to participate in another fundraiser. So I'm going to try and get a hold of the oldest daughter as an artist. And I want to try and get a hold of her art or a picture or something of her art so I can make copies of it, so I can mail it, sell it and mail it like I did with Romana's picture last year. And we fundraised. We gave up $1,700. You guys are amazing. And maybe even more than that. I can't remember. But anyways, we helped someone get a generator, and yeah, it's been like great. So why can't we all work together to help this family? Like, I think they're even staying for free somewhere. Like, it's been crazy, this roller coaster. They literally yesterday could write 3 books telling me about their lives without their children, never mind even going in the court. It's been... So we all need to love each other. We all need to support each other. And we all need to get out of the vibes of who thinks they're right and wrong. Let's face it, I don't know. I don't know shit. Like, I don't know everything. That's the one thing I wake up every day going, I love you, Raven, but I don't, you think you know stuff, but you don't know stuff. So we don't need to sit and write, and we don't need to sit in judgment. Everything is just is. It is the way it is because this is the way that the necessary way to crack the collective consciousness, if you will, and break certain vibrations to open these timelines of corruption. And sometimes there needs to be someone claiming to be this or that, looking like a psychopath, in an RV across Canada to accomplish that task. It's not like everybody's going to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to hide behind those bushes. Then we're going to light that flag on fire. And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to do that. That's not how this works. This is very strategic, high level. And like, honestly, I think this is a reason that I don't remember my dreams because I'm too open. I would just tell you all and then the gig's up. You know what I mean? So I just think we're all where we need to be, but we all need to work a little bit harder in focusing on manifestation of a life that we really want. We want these children back. We want all children back home. We want all children to feel safe. We want all children to feel loved. So I implore you right now, please just do something. Do anything. Do anything. But if you please share that video on Rumble. Like I said, I'm not sure if this channel will even be lasting after this video, right? So we don't know anything, but I'm really hoping today is a good day. I hope that by Tuesday it's even better. And I do feel like there's this big push coming for something, and we can't go back energetically negative. Don't forget we're in a photon belt and things are flying off. And if you remember all my little charts from 3D to 4D to 5D, that's only about vibrations. So the more we raise our vibrations through 4D and truth is sharing this information. That is truth. That will set more vibrations free. The more people that actively work towards getting this family together, the more people, that's when it happens faster, no matter what it is. You know, think about how we can manifest and co-create. So I know that we are genetic super races. I know that's why they're after our blood all the time. Like, I started this doing bloodlines and money, and I am not deviating from that. That's what I'm going to be researching with these dirt bags. So I want to put together the most comprehensive thing that'll make people understand that this is about you, your money, your children, everybody's children. Okay? Where we go one, we do go all. And that's energetically. So we need to get through this 4D to raise up. Diane, you know, I love you, but yeah, it's just, I lied about the truckers. I did not lie about the truckers. I had a lot of information about the truckers that I never would reveal. Even now, it's okay. Don't worry. Like, go watch all the videos. They're out there is all I can say, you know. I saw people dying of a heart attack from raves. There was parties going on. There was Bitcoin being sold to the truckers. There was a lot of crap going on that shouldn't have happened. Okay? It shouldn't have happened, both good and bad. So I talked to, I think his name was Leon, the organizer, one of the organizers of the truckers rally, 2 weeks after I was there. And he asked me how I got money to be there, number one. And he said he had to leave because he wouldn't accept money or didn't get money from anyone else. And number two, I asked him, I said, so do you feel like this has been taken over by political movement? His answer was, it was taken over 2 years ago by political movements. And I don't believe in the politics. I don't believe in one politician being better than the other. So if you're getting that information straight hand, and I did ask him why, he knew about the human trafficking. So I'm like, I'm just confused. So, yeah, it was a great patriotic thing. I've never dismissed how great the truckers were. But if you were there living in Ottawa for 4.5 weeks while these guys were blowing their horns in the town, you would have been mental. It would have just taken some of these truckers to go to their own city, literally plan on the same day to blow their effing horn in front of City Hall, surround City Hall, and just lay on the horn. But nobody ever did that. Nobody ever organized so it was like that. Nobody ever talked about what was going on in certain areas with other truckers. So there's a lot of distractions going on, and I don't participate in that. There's no covering my ass. So I don't believe in that. I'm like, I am who I am. I've said what I said, and there is no covering nothing. So it is what it is. Again, I don't believe that anything that happened that I did was for nefarious reasons. So if you believe that, then unfollow. This is where we're at now. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously, we don't literally know what we know. And I just think maybe you weren't there, Diane. So I love you. I forgive you. I thank you for the message. But she doesn't just look like a psychopath, Romana. She is one. Are you? Well, did you just not hear? I'm not even going to comment on that. People who talk about physical descriptions of everything or everyone, they are not sitting in love. You're still judging yourself. It's literally, you must be in judgment of yourself if you're sitting in judgment of others. That's all I have to say. So that might be a lesson for some other people too. So we can't be pointing fingers at everybody. Like, seriously, if you don't get it, just stop being so negative. That's all I have to say. People shaming everybody is just ridiculous. I've been asking questions. I have been asking questions about why aren't we saying these things? Why aren't truckers talking about it? You know, out of all the 100,000 trucks I've seen in Ottawa and back and forth across Canada, do you know how many had report human trafficking on the sides of their truck? So, yeah, I got to ask the questions. I have friends who are truckers. They're trying to out this stuff. So, why aren't there many more people banding together to talk about it? I don't want to talk about the freedoms because I've been silenced off the stage. You want to talk about being silenced? I've been silenced off the stage for 2.5 years. Not allowed to talk about that. It's not appropriate. And then when there's an actual family fighting for justice, the person running the freedom rally shames them. I'm like, what in the hell is that about? That is not what we should be here for. So again, Diane, I love you, but shaming and blaming, again, lower vibrations. So let this be a lesson to everybody who has trolls in their life or people who just come out of the negative. I'll tell you what happened on the streets of Calgary the other day when I had the microphone out in front of the Catholic school board. Okay. It was super loud and it was echoing up against the building. And then when the mother was on the microphone, this telling about her son and what happened to him from this principal, this lady in a car going by starts laughing. I'm not kidding you. I walked up to her car and I'm like, so you think it's funny that a 6-year-old boy gets harmed by his principal from this Catholic school board? You're going to laugh about that? Lady, I hope you don't have kids. Shame on you. Shame on you. Really. How can people just laugh and ignore it? So, yeah, I'm calling people out in that way. I will shame people for not stepping into your higher selves because this is when it's important. So please don't talk to me anymore about romance because it's irrelevant to the storyline now. That's how I feel about it. Her timeline with me came and went. I left on March 5th. Whatever happened on March 6th, I really wasn't a part of, and I eliminated myself from it. You can ask anybody who was on the trip. And I think a couple people were pissed off that I wasn't going to be negative, but that's the way it is. So I love everybody. I love the experience. I thought it was like The Amazing Race, Big Brother, Canadian Survivor, Tiny House, whatever, Game of Clue that was ever going. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, anyways, I love you all. Please help this family out. And thanks, Diane, for all your comments. I really do believe there's lessons in anything, in everything. So I just wonder why you feel so like this is for everyone, everyone. If you've got something where you're triggered and you keep revisiting it like a gopher in a loop, like, or a gerbil and a hamster wheel, you lied, you lied, you lied. You have to think about that person that was lied to in that childlike self. So you've obviously been lied to a lot because you like calling out liars. So to me, when I have a trigger, I really look out, and this has happened in the last 2 weeks. I've been triggered by my youngest son. I love him dearly, but holy hell, he brought me to a place that I'm like, I did not want to be at. Admittedly, I did not want to be in this place. I felt off my kilter and back 30 years ago. Now, so I had to go back 30 years ago and say, gee, Raven, you were really brave for putting up with that scenario in order to be here to deal with this situation. So that's all I look at about is every little thing that we're triggered at is a lesson for us to clean up whatever triggers us. Because when you heal yourself in this timeline, if you heal yourself in this timeline, from whatever is you're feeling victimized by, and let's admit it, when you're shaming other people, you feel like you're a victim. You're feeding your victim bear, right? Tell me I'm wrong. You're feeding poor me. I felt ripped off. I felt lied to. Just keep feeding the loosh. It's okay. But seriously, this is what we're at right now, is cleaning off those things that piss us off. So instead of constantly feeding, you lied, you lied, you lied, and I feel bad, I feel bad, I feel bad. Why do you feel so bad? Who do you feel bad for? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to minimize your anger or anything. I'm literally asking a question. Who do you feel bad? Justify it all you want. This is not about justification. This is actually what I've been talking about for 3 years. So again, justice, justification. You should be asking for justice for this family. That's all I have to say. That's what this video is about, not your butthurt feelings. Sorry, not sorry. The good old Canadian, sorry, not sorry. So we got to get over our pain. You got to get over it. So this family is going through way more pain than you can ever imagine. And I listen to it. I am empathetically there with them. I am wanting this family to get together so bad that really nothing else matters in my life right now. I'm literally not joking. Nothing else matters but trying to help this family get their kids back. Nothing. So that's where my head's at. I'm not even looking for a home to live in. So if you think I'm justifying anything, I just think it's funny. I love everybody, but I really do appreciate all of the lessons. Yeah, you need to address what you did. Love the people you affected people. I don't know, Diane. You're just, I think you need love. I think you just need love. I affected people, yes, but I didn't tell people what to do. I did not. I've always been honest. Again, if you don't see it, I love you. So you're going to get blocked today because that's just the way it is. And yeah, I don't need lower vibes on my page when I'm trying to help this family. So I think you're a cabal setup person. You're kind of like that lady laughing in the car. I have no time for it. So let's focus our attention where attention is needed, and that is helping this family. So thank you. I really do appreciate anybody who's watched to the end and had to experience the end of this, because I think it is a lesson for all. Yeah, so I think everybody needs some prayers, but most of all, I'm going to show you this family again because they need the most prayers. So let's pray and manifest reunification with the Lee family. And if you want to support them, please send them an email and find out a way we can help this family in any way. I know, thank you to Patrick for watching and offering help. You're a good friend. Thank you to all the people who came out to the rally and continue to cheer on these people. And yeah, I just really appreciate everybody. I appreciate where you're in your vibrations. I appreciate your lessons. And I just appreciate everything. I'm grateful to each and every one of you. I truly am. I accept whatever challenges life has to offer, whether it's somebody trying to dismiss whatever. And, like it is all about dismissing vibrations. It's kind of like gaslighting. And we must not do that to each other. We just can't. We've been gaslight for 3 years. I don't think people really get when your family's like, no, 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 don't want to hear it. You're being gaslit. So when in the community, when somebody's doing it to you again, it's like, why do we need to hold on to that? That's like letting somebody walk through our mind with dirty running shoes, and that's not necessary. So I just don't have any patience or time for it. So, Diane, you'll be on my walk and my prayers today, and hoping you're manifesting reunification for this family and you find peace within your heart. I really do. I do believe everybody deserves peace. Everybody, especially this family. So please, again, do what you can for this family. I love you all. I'm so, so, so grateful. But the best way to send dinero to the family, if you're here in Canada, is an email transfer. Just make sure you have the right email first by sending them an email and confirming. So her first name's Christine. It's all one word. Christine, WALL17 at hotmail.com. And just make sure that's the right one. I'm pretty sure, because I wrote a wrong one down and scratched it out. So yeah, just make sure. But that's how you can do it in Canada. We're not dealing with PayPal or anything like that. So this is just merely about getting the family some food, shelter, support, winter clothes for themselves and their children. Their oldest daughter doesn't have any winter clothes. So that is very important to me. So reach out any way you can. And I really appreciate anything that you can do from wherever you are in the world. If it's even just prayer support or letters, I'll try and post the lists of these letters and any and all investigations you want to do into any of these people. If you have any information that you want to share, send it to my email. It's my first and last name at outlook.com, but do not send me any dineros for this family. Please do not. I'm not asking. This goes right to them. I don't know. No. As we just encountered with Diane, we don't want to cheese anybody off by, even though, whatever, it doesn't matter. All goes to this family. So please do what you can. And I'm expecting a pretty fun and productive Friday night from TRUMP. And, it's getting really exciting and laughable in my world. And I'm really excited for everything that's transpiring here in and around the globe. So, yesterday, I believe the National Guard was called out of reserves in the United States and sent to 70 cities in the US. And yeah, so things are getting pretty exciting for me personally. So let's focus on the positive, reunification, and anything we can do to help bring this family together, however that is. So, and keep them going. They're like honestly they're the strongest people I know. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they can do this. This is like seriously such a big, big thing. So my call to action is you. And be sure you're always, always manifesting the highest timeline for all of humanity, for all of children. Be sure you're talking about the children. If you're still focused on who's arrested and in jail, you're not focusing on the children. I'm sorry. You're not talking about human trafficking. You're not exposing people in your neighborhood. You're not exposing people in your family. Like, if you know something that's going on, say something. So we need to get together. All right. We need to come together and work together. So I love you all. I'm grateful. Have a wonderful day. I offer you just prayers of support, prayers of manifestation, prayers of just peace and harmony within your heart. So to all of you, thank you. Love you.